Intentionally or not, YouTube is helping the Chinese Communist Party cover up their crimes. In a recent episode, we showed footage of workers at a Foxconn factory, where your iPhones are made, protesting COVID lockdowns. They were met with force, because that's how authoritarian regimes respond to protests. But YouTube says we can't talk about that to a general audience. They age-restricted our video for violating community guidelines. I appealed the age restriction, but the appeal was rejected. They told me it was to keep the YouTube community protected. Keep them protected from what? So I posted about what YouTube did on Twitter, and it went viral. That was pretty embarrassing for YouTube. So they told me they would review the episode again. Glad all I have to do to get YouTube to respond to me is go viral. Next time I need to get hold of them, I'll just ask while filming a pile of puppies farting the national anthem. YouTube got back to me, and this was their message. They said the video was correctly age-restricted according to our violent and graphic content policies. And apparently those policies say footage, audio, or imagery involving protests or riots violate community guidelines. And in this video, specifically the problematic footage, showed police in hazmat suits beating up a person who was lying on the ground. It was low resolution, from far away, in the dark, and not at all graphic. We included it because it's video proof of how the police were treating protesters. YouTube told me if I don't want to be age-restricted, you will need to blur or delete the segment. So basically, YouTube is telling me I need to self-censor. Although that episode showed Chinese police beating a protester, YouTube has also censored other episodes where all we've shown is a video of blindfolded Uyghur prisoners, or a still photo of Hong Kong police arresting protesters, or a still photo of Uyghurs in a detention center. I'd really like to see YouTube justify censoring a photo of Uyghur prisoners. YouTube also told me sometimes content doesn't violate our policies, but it may not be appropriate for viewers under 18. In other words, YouTube is saying some things don't technically violate the rules, but they reserve the right to censor us anyway. Perfect. Trying not to offend YouTube sensibilities feels like playing darts blindfolded while the dartboard is attached to the back of a gazelle being chased by a cheetah. YouTube has essentially told us not to cover protests or authoritarian abuses in China, or they'll restrict how many people can see our videos. And it's not just happening to us. Serpent Zede told me YouTube did the same thing to their podcast about the protest, instantly age-restricting it. If YouTube were around back in 1989, they probably would have censored the Tiananmen Square massacre. Meanwhile, you can go on YouTube right now and watch a video called Grand Theft Auto 5: 6 Minutes of Running Over Pedestrians, where a car mows down innocent people, scattering bodies and blood across the Venice Beach boardwalk. That's not age-restricted. Of course, YouTube isn't the only big tech platform working against protesters in China. Apple, which, remember, is currently dealing with the fact that Foxconn workers are being beaten by Chinese authorities, began limiting people in China from sharing information via airdrop. For a company that once ran an ad saying 1984 won't be like 1984, Apple sure is acting a lot like 1984. Though technically Apple is right, because they didn't start acting this way until the mid-2000s. So why are these tech companies so keen on defending the Chinese Communist Party? Well, here's something. Forbes recently published this report, where Forbes identified 23 profiles that appear to represent current employees at Google or YouTube, and 14 profiles of current employees at Meta, Facebook, and Instagram who previously worked for Chinese state media. There is something deeply rotten going on in YouTube.
Brass Check TV, free to you, not free to us. We've got a server bill, we've got an email software bill, we've got a tech helper bill, and that happens every month. So to everybody that is supporting us financially, that's paying for their subscription in one way or another, we really appreciate it. If you're not, consider doing so. Everybody's got money for the newspaper and the cable bill and all that. Do you have money for media that's actually serving you? That's really the issue here. And when you help us, it allows us to get this information out to the world. So thanks to all our supporters, and if you're not a supporter already, please consider becoming one.